All right, India came out all guns blazing versus Afghanistan, registering a 66-run victory. That also keeps them in contention for a semi-final spot at the T20 World Cup. But they'd have to repeat that performance because run rate is going to become very, very crucial in this Group 2, especially after New Zealand have just beaten Namibia by a massive margin of 52 runs. So we're going to be looking ahead to that important game that India will be playing versus Scotland with Sunil Gavaskar and Harbhajan Singh that are joining us on Battle of Champions. Now remember, as I said, run rate is important. On top of that, India also wants a few results to go their way. That would be that all-important New Zealand versus Afghanistan game. We'll bring you all the scenarios a little later, but let's first talk about India versus Scotland. Sunil, I'll start with you. Would you like the Indian team to make a few changes to their playing 11? I know they won their last encounter, but if there was one cause of worry, that was that fifth bowler who gave away too many runs between Hardik Pandya and Shardul Thakur. How do you rectify that?
Yes, certainly. I think because the Scots don't have too much experience against the quality in bowling, I'd like to see maybe a spinner in place of a medium pacer, because the bowler like a Chahar who tosses the ball up in the air above the eye line might cause a few problems to the Scottish batsmen rather than medium pacers who they play pretty much regularly.
Okay, very interesting strategy there by Sunil Gavaskar. He says he would like to see the Indian team go with 3 spinners. So far, we've only seen 2 spinners from the Indian camp, and they've gone in with 3 fast bowlers for the time being. But he talks about how Scotland have been vulnerable against spin bowling, so wouldn't be a bad idea to play 3 spinners for the Indian team. One other thought, Sunil, India played their first 2 games in Dubai, lost those 2 games, unfortunately, one in Abu Dhabi, but now are coming back to playing a game in Dubai. Would those memories be haunting them about this particular ground?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because, that happened some time ago. After that, there's been the game against Afghanistan, and they won that in style. So I don't think they're going to be thinking too much about what happened 8 or 10 days back. They'll just be focused on today. And you can expect that this team is going to go out and give its very best.
Right, just a few minutes to go before the coin goes up in the air and we get to know whether Virat Kohli becomes 4th time lucky. Remember, he's lost the 3 tosses so far in the T20 World Cup. That's going to be very, very crucial, and we'll find out whether India once again would be batting first, or will they finally get a chance to chase a total in this game. But first, let's take a look at how this encounter pans out between India and Scotland. Scotland are no pushovers. They've already registered 2 wins in this T20 World Cup and almost gave a scare to New Zealand.
This one's done. India win by 66 in Abu Dhabi.
This is what Team India is capable of. 2 unfortunate results to start the tournament may have derailed India's campaign to a great extent, but it's still not over for the men in blue. Rohit Sharma set the stage on fire with a 47-ball 74 as the Indian opener has announced his return to form. India next plays Scotland, who are still winless in the tournament so far. Victory may not be in doubt for India, but the manner in which they need to is what India would be looking at. India's 66-run victory over Afghanistan has taken their net run rate to 0.073 and has taken them a rung over Namibia to the 4th spot. India will still have to wait for the result of Afghanistan and New Zealand on November 7, which may eventually decide their fate the following day when they take on Namibia.
Into out. Glorious.
India had almost everything going their way against Afghanistan. From their opening stand of 140 between Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul to the late flourish from Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant that allowed them to post their 2nd highest T20 score of 210 for 2.
Lot of information.
India may not have control over a lot of things even as various scenarios are being thrown at them to make it to the semis. What they can still control is how they bat, bowl and field. And going by the display that India exhibited against Afghanistan, Scotland would expect themselves to be in a bit of trouble. Virat may not have had his best days on the field in the last few months, but who knows? His 33rd birthday may well ring in the start of a better tomorrow. And possibly a semi-final place may well be on the cards. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Sunil Gavaskar, Harbhajan still, Singh still with us in the program. I'll come to you, Sunny bhai, on this one. As we were showing in a report just a short while ago, Scotland can be a dangerous team. We've seen them register 2 wins in this tournament already. They beat Namibia. They also beat Bangladesh, ran New Zealand very, very close. So for the Indian team, there are going to be no pushovers.
Oh, absolutely not. In the T20 format, no team can be considered a pushover because in 1 or 2 overs, the game can change and turn on its head. So no team is going to think of itself as a pushover. Neither should the opposition think lightly or less about any team, because then they'll be in for a surprise.
Harbhajan, too many permutation combinations at the moment. Of course, India would have to rely on a few other results as well. But what do you make of India's chances of making it to the semis?
Yeah, most certainly. I don't think players should be thinking that, the game is over or the tournament is over. I think they have all the reason to look forward for this tournament. They have 3 games, they played their game so well against Afghanistan. They all have to do is go out there and play the same way they played against Afghanistan, and score those big runs and take those wickets and win big. And if you win big, you never know where you'll end up getting into. And of course, till the time the game is not over, competition is not over, you have still a lot to achieve from this tournament. So I'm sure, all the teammates, all the team guys, they are looking forward for these games and looking forward to put their best foot forward for the Team India. And they will obviously make sure they do everything possible for Team India to qualify for the next round. Even if they don't, at least they have given themselves a better chance to qualify.
All right, Harbhajan Singh says there that the Indian team would be geared up, looking forward to this particular encounter. Forget about the run rate for the moment. Just look at, pocketing those 2 all-important points, because from here on, there are all must-win games for India. Saima, let's take a look at the Scottish team much closely now. I take a look at their playing 11, and most likely they'll have the likes of Brad Wheal there, a good seam bowler, and then you've got Sufyan Sharif, who's another good seam bowler. You've got good spinners in Mark Watt and Michael Leask. So clearly, would it be fair to say that bowling is probably their stronger suit?
Definitely, because of the fact that they are able to contain the batsman. Also because their batting, the Scots batting is not that experienced. Yes, they have the odd batsman who can slog the ball, but generally you find that they are not able to carry on to play an impact kind of innings of 70-80, which can turn the game around. On the other hand, they have bowlers who can take, in those 4 overs that they get, they can take 2 or 3 wickets and push the opposition back.
All right, Saeem, plenty more to come with you, but for the moment, let's give some latest update from Dubai for our viewers now. Virat Kohli, and it should be breaking news, finally wins the toss, because remember, he lost the first 3 tosses that the Indian team participated in the first 3 games of this T20 World Cup. 2 games, they ended up on the losing side. 1 game, they won despite losing the toss, and that came against Afghanistan. Here, India has won the toss, and they've decided to, no surprise there, they've decided to field first. And why would you say that they want to field first? We've seen in all matches so far at the T20 World Cup, teams prefer chasing. Yes, India batted first versus Afghanistan and won that game, but teams would prefer chasing here because of the dew that sets in later. It makes life very difficult for the bowlers, as well as it makes it easier for the batsmen to strike the ball, because in slow pitches, you rarely have to wait for the ball to come onto the bat, and that tends to happen in the second half of the inning. Let me give you a stat here why any captain would like to chase here. That's because out of the 9 games that have been played at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium at this T20 World Cup, 8 have been won by team chasing. The only one time that New Zealand won while batting first is also because they were up against a minnow team. So that is the first step that Virat Kohli has taken. He's won the toss. Sometimes these things are out of your control, but as they say, the luck of the coin finally going Indian captain's way. He wins the toss and has decided to field first. We'll have to wait and see if they go ahead and make a few changes. That's because the Indian team won the previous encounter, so mostly we've seen teams make not too many changes and not try and disturb that winning combination, but would they want to make that one change? Because we heard from Sunny Bhai earlier in our program where he said maybe look at an extra spinner coming into the team for two reasons. One, because the Indian fifth bowler proved to be slightly expensive in the previous game, even though they won that encounter. And secondly, because the Scottish team struggle against spinners. And guess what? That's exactly what the Indian team has done. We can confirm the Indian playing 11 now. Shardul Thakur misses out and Varun Chakravarthy is back. Now that is very important. Remember, Varun Chakravarthy missed out in the previous game because of an injury. So clearly that rest has helped him. So he comes back into the playing 11. You would have thought that probably India would have made a change as far as the spinner is concerned. So one spinner goes out and then the other spinner comes in. That's not what has happened. R. Ashwin had a good outing versus Afghanistan, picked up 2 wickets, so he remains in the team. Ravindra Jadeja, you couldn't have really bought him out of the playing 11 because he gives you 2 dimensions. In fact, I'd say 3 dimensions, because he not only is a very able spinner, he's a very handy batsman and an outstanding fielder. So he remains. Now they've added a 3rd spinner into the team. That is Varun Chakravarthy. So exactly what Sunil Gavaskar was telling us on India today a short while ago. What are the changes that he would like to see in the team? He spoke about that one change, that bring in a spinner and you could have a fast bowler sit out, and that's exactly what the Indian team has done. Shardul Thakur, after playing the last 2 games for India, one against New Zealand, he played that encounter, and then we saw him play this game versus Afghanistan where India won. He misses out. Varun Chakravarthy is back. No other changes. You'd also want to see what is the kind of batting lineup that India goes in with. So batting lineup may remain the same, but the batting order has kept changing. But I think after what we saw in the previous game versus Afghanistan, where the 2 openers did outstandingly well, I'm talking about K. Rahul and Rohit Sharma, the kind of start that they gave the Indian team, there is a very less likelihood of the Indian team making any changes to that opening batting. Of course, a few other changes were made in the batting order. You had to push someone like a Rishabh Pant up and a Hardik Pandya up, and you had Virat Kohli wait out because of the situation, because you got a fine start that the openers gave you versus Afghanistan. You could still see that if the openers give you a very good start and then you really need someone to come and tonk the ball, in which case you look to a Rishabh Pant and a Hardik Pandya to do that job for you. But if that is not the case, if a batsman has to walk in before the 10th over mark, then you would see normal service resume, in which case after the opener you'll see birthday boy Virat Kohli come out and play, and then the rest of the batting lineup may follow as it is. So that's the big news at the moment. Indian captain Virat Kohli on his birthday has finally won a toss at the T20 World Cup, and India would finally be chasing a total which works to their advantage considering the record in Dubai. Out of the 9 games that have happened so far, teams that have chased 8 times, they've managed to win the game. So that is what the Indian team would be doing. One change for the Indian team: Shardul Thakur has gone out and Varun Chakravarthy comes in. No change for the Scottish team. It's the same team that we saw in the encounter before this. Okay, since we've been talking about Virat Kohli, he's not only won the toss, he's also the birthday boy, and here are some of his teammates paying a tribute to Captain Kohli.
So emotional. He knew it was tough. Look at that. Sinking to his knees. He's done it.
If you look at things from the worldly point of view all the time, then you are not focusing on things that could be miraculous.
That could be the game.
The fact that he's a wonderful batsman and he just plays normal cricketing shots.
When he is in form, he is like different levels. He always hungry for runs.
His hunger for success is just unbelievable.
I think Virat is one who genuinely plays T20 cricket the way it needs to be played, one day the way it needs to be played, and so is Test cricket.
If you look at his record in T20 cricket, it's second to none.
It's not so easy to go out there and do it consistently, which he has done so well.
I think the reason is he doesn't change much at all. He plays the same sort of shots and same sort of has similar game plans in all formats.
That is a classic.
To watch him close up, watch the way he trains and goes about things, watch the way he plays the games, and he's just so competitive, he's so driven, and you can understand why he's as good as he is, the amount of work he puts into his game and the amount of determination he's got to just get better and better every day.
13 years down the line, I firstly I couldn't have imagined that I would come this far, to be honest. But it's been unbelievable. It's been a ride full of amazing moments, amazing memories, just the pride to play for India, getting to play so many games for India. For me, that's been the most special thing and the focal point of my career till now, that I want to find ways to win a game of cricket from any place, and I will give absolutely everything that I have to be able to do that.
So India won this match by 6 wickets. Virat Kohli, happy man.
This means a lot to the entire team.
When he came in 2008 and he's evolved as a cricketer since then. I mean, over the years, he's added little scent to his game and he's just evolved every year. All those years, as I see, he's put his best foot forward.
As a batsman, first and foremost, when I step onto the field, my prime job as a batsman is to literally perform for the team and score runs. If you don't, then the game can get away from you very quickly as well. So if I have the opportunity and the form on my side, then I would definitely like to make it count. At this moment, I'm in a very, very happy and a very content space in terms of the journey of my career. I'm very happy. I'm a very happy man sitting here 13 years later.
Right, Virat Kohli then celebrating his 33rd birthday today. Sunny Bhai and Harbhajan Singh still with us. Sunny Bhai, I'll come to you and get a reaction on Virat's birthday. But Harbhajan, to you first. India finally will be bowling first in the T20 World Cup. Thoughts?
Not at all. I think it doesn't affect anything. India bowling first. It's an opportunity for the bowlers to just go out there and get the team out under 130, 140, and everything is possible. It's just about going out there and bowling with the right intent and showing the hunger of taking those wickets. It just comes down to that, that how much you want it. So I want Bumrah to step in, Shami to step in, whoever plays. They want, I want them to just go out there and look for those wickets rather than just waiting for things to happen. You have to make things happen. And if you can get the other team out below 130, 140, you certainly have given the chance to all your batters to go out there and chase those runs in 13, 14 overs. And I'm sure Indian team is more than capable enough to do that.
Right, Sunny Bhai, final word to you. If India were to repeat that performance that we saw versus Afghanistan, that 66-run massive win, that would be, you'd say, the perfect birthday gift from them to their captain Virat Kohli?
Definitely, no question about it. Any captain wants a win as the best gift that he can get from his team. And that is exactly what Kohli would be expecting today. That his team performed the way that they did against Afghanistan, maybe even better. And win by a huge margin. That will probably be the best present for him.
All right, Sunny Bhai, thanks so much for joining us. Harbhajan Singh, thanks so much for joining us too. So the news now from Dubai is that India would be bowling first. And remember, not only do they have to win this encounter, they have to win big to keep that run rate in mind. So get Scotland to get very less runs, and then you'd hope that the Indian team then chases that down very, very quickly. Quickly telling you about the playing 11. They've gone in with the same that we saw versus Afghanistan, barring that one change that the Indian team has made, and that is with regards to the bowling lineup. And so Shardul Thakur has made way for Varun Chakravarthy. Remember, Varun Chakravarthy was injured the last time around, but he makes a return to the team, not for a spinner. So they've got R. Ashwin, their spinner, who remains intact with the 11. So does Ravindra Jadeja. They've added another spinner in Varun Chakravarthy. So that's the Indian team that will be taking on Scotland in a short while from now. That's all that we have on our program. But don't forget to join in at the end of the match. We'll analyze this game with Sunil Gavaskar and Harbhajan Singh. See you then.